Hey, it's Bill Russell. I'm here in my yellow hat. I wore it at Vive and Hims to signify our partnership with Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation and the search for cures and to combat childhood cancer. I'm just blown away by the generosity of our community. With the help of our partners, Short Test, Rackspace, CTG, and some of you giving individually, we were able to raise close to $40,000 at those two events. It is just exceptional. And I would like to thank all of you who have joined us in this cause. If you would like to be a part of it as well, go ahead and hit our page, thisweekhealth.com. You can go to the top blue banner that is on our homepage and click on that to give today. Thank you again for being a part of this effort and this cause. Today in Health IT, Drex DeFord joins the team. More on that in a minute. My name is Bill Russell. I'm a former CIO for a 16-hospital system and creator of This Week Health, a set of channels and events dedicated to transform healthcare, one connection at a time. We want to thank our show sponsors who are investing in developing the next generation of health leaders: Short Test, Artisight, Parlance, Certify Health, Notable, and ServiceNow. Check them out at thisweekhealth.com/today. One last thing, share this podcast with a friend or colleague. Use it as a foundation for daily or weekly discussions on topics that are relevant to you and the industry. They can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, you can tell I am excited. I am talking fast, but you're probably listening to me on 1.5 times speed. So I'm talking really fast today. You know, sometimes we are the news. Sometimes things happen over here that become the news. And Drex DeFord has decided to join us at This Week Health, and he is going to be the president of the 229 Project Security and Risk Community. And we are extremely excited about that. If you want more information on that, by the way, just hit thisweekhealth.com/security. There's a new page out there that has information on Drex joining, has a video, has a couple of articles, and and all that stuff about what this community is about. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what is going on and what it's about. My hope is that we can answer some questions. I did a podcast with Drex. It will air tomorrow on the conference channel, so you can listen to that. And he talks about why he made the move, some of his history, why he's making the move, what he's going to be doing, and how you can get involved. These are some of the questions we talk about tomorrow on the keynote episode. But today, I just want to give you an idea of what we're thinking and where we're going. The 229 Project, as you know, 229 stands for February 29th, 2020, and it was the first reported case of COVID to the CDC. And it was at that time that my phone started ringing and people were asking me, hey, what's Vanderbilt doing? And what's UCLA doing? And what's Cedars doing? And whatever. And I'd be like, well, why don't you call Neil? And why don't you call Mike? And why don't you call, these CIOs? And one of the things that people said to me is, I don't know who they are. Like, I see them up front. I hear them on podcasts. I read articles, but I don't really know them. I'm not really connected with them. And so we started having conversations. In fact, Drex was one of the first people I had a conversation with about this. And I said, look, I think there's a problem in our industry that at a time when we needed those connections most, at a time when we needed each other most, that we didn't have those relationships to fall back on, those phone calls to make and whatnot. Now, there are organizations, and they operated very well during the pandemic, and CIOs were connected through there. But there was a whole swath of CIOs that didn't feel like they had a community they could lean on. And so through conversations with Drex and many other CIOs, we started the 229 Project, and it was about bringing people back into community in smaller types of events so that we could have discussions with each other. And when the time came, we could develop relationships in that 229 Project so that we could rely on each other if and when, God forbid, the next pandemic happens to hit. And so we started doing these 229 events about 2 years ago. We did 4 pilots, and then last year we did 9 of them. This year we're going to do about 16 of these events, and they've been very successful. And one of the things that's started to happen as we've grown is that there are specific needs for specific communities. And Drex and I started talking about that. And the security and risk community is a community that has a lot of ways that they already communicate with each other and connect with each other and whatnot. And so we were a little leery of, should we start something? And we decided to go ahead and move forward with it. And the reason we did was, it was the word relationship again. We wanted to help people establish relationship. It's one thing to be on a community board where you can share information that's quickly happening, and that's necessary, and we applaud that. And we also saw a challenge with the information flow. Drex sits on a bunch of groups at the federal level that is generating some great content for cybersecurity leaders. And he said, one of the biggest problems we have is we can't get the content out to the people who are going to use it. And so through those series of conversations, we said, we're going to stand up this community itself. And as we had those conversations, Drex was like, hey, I'd like to lead that. And so we went down that path, and I am ecstatic that he would be a leader of this community. I think it's going to be a incredibly valuable resource for the industry. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to support people, the practitioners who are trying to make this thing work and make it happen with events, with content, with community that can support them as we move forward. So that's the 229 project story. That's the launch story, really, of the security and risk community. Let me give you a little bit more, and you can see this on the page. Again, it's thisweekhealth.com/security. You can go there. About 3/4 of the way down, you're going to see a launching the 229 security and risk community article. And we talk about the vision for the 229 security and risk community. We talk about what it is, our objectives for it. And we also talk about our need for your help, right? And this is actually a note from Drex. Drex wrote this, and he says, collaboration has always been a critical success factor for anything I've ever done. All of us are smarter than any one of us, so I need your help. Please say yes if you can be a guest on the podcast, or if you're asked to be a guest on the podcast. And I'd love to talk to you more about the 229 events we have planned for you and your teams so that you can be informed, and subscribe to the channel. So what are we going to be doing specifically for the security and risk community? Drex will be launching a podcast, which will be airing on the conference channel. We're going to be renaming the conference channel to something else, and it's going to house my podcast and Drex's podcast. We're going to be launching 2 additional podcasts with other hosts other than myself on that channel as well. Right now, the working title for Drex's podcast is Unhacking Healthcare. And we are still in discussions of what that's going to look like, how long it's going to be, and those kinds of things. So you can hear Drex talk about that tomorrow of what his vision for that is and where it's going to go. We are also planning on doing 4 229 Project CISO roundtables. These are the 2.5-day roundtables. We do them around the country. If you are a CISO at a health system today and want to be invited to one of those, please hit that page, hit that /security page, and let us know about your interest, and Drex will follow up with you. And in addition to that, this is a little premature, but we're going to be launching the 229 city tour, and we're going to be taking this 229 project on the road, and we're going to be coming to a city near you. And the hope is that not only the CISOs can be a part of the 229 community, but that your staff can be a part as we come to these various cities, and you can experience the 229 project locally, and we can get more people involved and part of the community. So again, this is a huge day for me. I'm extremely excited to be expanding what we can do for the community. I'm extremely excited to be working with Drex on a day-to-day basis, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting year, and I appreciate all of you who are listening. I appreciate your support, and anything you can do to help us to create something that we believe is going to have value. We are constantly listening. We are constantly adjusting. If there is something we can do that could help you at your health system or help you in your community, especially today with regards to cybersecurity, let us know. If you have thoughts and ideas of things we could be offering, let us know. We want to fill those gaps. All right. That's all for today. Don't forget, share this podcast with a friend or colleague. Keep the conversations going. Establish those mentoring relationships. We want to thank our channel sponsors who are investing in our mission to develop the next generation of health leaders: SureTest, Artisight, Parlance, Certify Health, Notable, and ServiceNow. Check them out at thisweekhealth.com/today. If you are interested in sponsoring what we are launching here with Drex, go ahead and hit that security page as well. If you go to the bottom, you'll see our current sponsors for this community, the cybersecurity community, and we would love to have a conversation with you. That's it. Thanks for listening. That's all for now.